When automating a process, the first response is often to automate exactly what humans do when they complete the process. This doesn't always make sense though, as digital workers and human workers have very different skills. To illustrate, consider this example where a human user is using Excel to manually reconcile daily takings from the point of sale system to the deposits received in the bank. Every day they open this Excel report, extract the daily takings from the POS system and paste this data at the bottom. They add a subtotal for the daily takings and then reconcile this data to amounts deposited in the bank. For that step, they download the daily bank statement and carefully check the amounts for each store balance. Any variances are highlighted as part of the reconciliation process and are subsequently investigated until they are resolved. Excel provides a visual medium for humans to work with data and allows them to work through one cell or one row at a time. Digital workers, however, do not need a visual mechanism like Excel. They can do it all in memory, and using this approach will be much faster, will be more stable, and we won't need Microsoft Office installed or licensed on the BotRunner computer. So let's take a look at an alternative approach. Our automation logic will still need to store the results of its work somewhere, so we've converted the Excel file into a CSV format. As you can see, the format of the CSV file is still the same as the original Excel report. Our human users will still need to be able to review the data in a visual format that suits them, so we'll create an Excel file which pulls the data from the CSV data source. We select the Transform Data option so we can change the structure of the data as we bring it in. Firstly, we're going to calculate our subtotals by day by selecting the Group By option and defining the calculation that will be created. This, as you can see, gives us our subtotals in a separate page. Next, we're going to bring in the raw data and combine that once again by transforming the data with our subtotals to produce the complete report. We use the Append Queries option to join this data with the subtotal data that we previously created. Then we can rearrange the columns and change the sort order to ensure everything's displaying correctly. In this case, we'll need to sort by date and then by store code. As you can see, this gives us our data in the required format. So that users always see the latest data, we can set the properties of the query that's executed to refresh every time a user opens the file. We can also set it to refresh every 5 minutes, for example. This ensures that every time a human user opens the file, they'll see the latest work that's been performed and saved in the CSV file. The human users will be able to add their investigation notes to the file in the last column. These notes will dynamically merge with the data from the CSV. Finally, with some extra formatting, we have a dynamic report that is much the same as our original Excel report. Let's take a look at the automation logic. Firstly, we load the daily point of sale data into a data table object. In this demonstration, we simply load it from a CSV file, but in a production use case, we would fetch it from the actual point of sale system. Secondly, we load up the bank deposit data into a data table object. Then we begin reconciling the data by looping through one in-memory table and comparing the data to the other. As we find the matching rows, we write the result to the CSV file that is the reconciliation history. Let's run the automation logic. As you can see, it completes very quickly and the BotRunner logic does not need the Excel application anymore. When our human users open the Excel file, it will dynamically refresh and bring in the latest data from the CSV file. They will, of course, need an Excel license, however. Our humans can then add comments for any investigations they need to perform into the variances that are detected. By designing automations for bots, not humans, they can be faster, cheaper, and more resilient.